Well, let's see if this mic's hot. It is. Good evening. right on cue. I'm Jake Reese with the Alabama Booksmith, and on behalf of our dedicated staff of awesome booksellers and this entire crew at the magnificent Alabama Theater, and the geniuses at Penguin Press who published the book the literary world has anticipated for half a century, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to a Mockingbird tribute. We also say a big hi, y'all, to the viewers on C-SPAN. Our theater audience has enjoyed watching and hearing Catherine Tucker Wyndham on the big screen tell personal Harper Lee stories before the start of the main event. Each attendee has received a signed first edition of The Mockingbird Next Door with their ticket. Many of you wanted extra copies for friends and for gifts. They are available at alabamabooksmith.com. The folks sitting here will also soak up the ambiance of this early 20th century movie palace that has been lovingly restored to its original charm. The final perk of being present is that one lucky patron will walk away tonight with this 50th anniversary edition of To Kill a Mockingbird with a book plate signed by Harper Lee. The rest of the evening format will be opening remarks by our distinguished visitor, a conversation with replies to our inquiries, questions from the audience that you've written down as you entered the theater, and then the drawing for the prize. This podium will soon belong to the author of the hottest book in America. We just found out about 2 hours ago, and you're the first to know, that it will debut this Sunday on the New York Times bestseller list at number 4, and it's only been out a few days. And you own a signed first edition. It has been praised and damned by the New York Times, the Washington Post, and almost every other newspaper, radio talk show, and television news program out there, not to mention blogs, tweets, Facebook comments covering the planet. Many of you, like quite a few of the reviews we've seen, have an opinion before you've read the book. We ask that thoughtful literati reserve judgment until you've heard the presentation and the answers to the questions posed. We hesitate to take any more of the speaker's time for much of an introduction, as the media has done that job for us. We will share that the Georgetown graduate owns a Pulitzer Prize, a marvelous sense of humor, and a respectful, gentle manner that will be apparent as soon as you meet her. Even though she's spent quite a bit of time in our state and watched many college football games, she will not tell us if she yells "Roll Tide" or "War Eagle." There is one controversy she does not avoid when it comes to the Coke and Pepsi wars. Since her grandfather ran a 2-man Coca-Cola bottling plant back in her hometown of Black River Falls, Wisconsin, she maintains a strong preference for Diet Coke. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Sweet Home, Alabama, Marja Mills. It's all yours, kid.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just thrilled to be here and see this gorgeous theater I've been hearing about and reading about for quite some time. Thank you, Jake, so much for what you said and for putting together just a magical evening. It was, for me, such a privilege to get to know Harper Lee and her older sister, Alice Lee, and to have them share these stories with me, those they chose to share, and now a privilege to share them with you. Some of my favorite times with Nell Harper, for example, were, I've just seen this table, around the kitchen table in the house that I rented next door to theirs in Monroeville. And I hope you'll just pull up a chair to this kitchen table with us. Let's share some stories. Let's celebrate both Nell Harper Lee and her remarkable, equally remarkable sister, Alice Lee, and also the friends and the family in that town who so generously helped me to understand the context of their lives and of that town. And please pull up a chair. Let's have a good chat around the kitchen table.
Well, it was short and sweet. Well, let's just, we'll just get right to it, and then we'll...
I've been edited for some time now as I was preparing this book, and I'm always trying to see if I can use fewer words, which is not usually the first option that comes to mind.
No editing this evening.
Okay.
You have carte blanche.
All right.
I think a great opening comment, if you would share with the audience just what went through your mind when you were at the Best Western Motel in Monroeville, Alabama. The telephone in your room rings, and the voice on the other end says, "Hello, this is Harper Lee."
I wonder if we might meet. And I tried to keep my voice from rising a couple of octaves, and felt as if the Wizard of Oz had just placed a call to my motel room, and was surprised and just thrilled at the chance to speak with her. Right away, I think I had the sense of what a down-to-earth person she was, and not as shy as I think I had pictured, perhaps. She asked if it would be all right to come by the next day, and I said yes. And she showed up at the appointed time and began the first of what was many conversations over the years to come. One of the first times I remember sharing a good laugh with her, the first of so many, was when I was telling her about my reason for being in Monroeville, which was that the Chicago library system had selected To Kill a Mockingbird as its first selection in One Book, One Chicago, which was designed to get people around the city from all walks of life reading and talking about the same book. And so I was telling her more about the activities in Chicago around that selection, the reason I had been sent to Monroeville as a feature writer for the Chicago Tribune. Not with the thought of interviewing her so much, knowing she was private, but with the thought of talking to people around town, seeing this place that really is known to readers around the world in the fictional form that it helped inspire anyway. And so I was telling her that they were showing the movie as part of this in Chicago. And she leaned over this little table, actually, that was in that Best Western room and said of Gregory Peck, "Isn't he delicious?" And I just thought, all right, this is going to be a different kind of conversation than I thought. And it was such a delight. And it was also the first indication of, to me, one of the really touching things that came out of that movie that I think means the world to so many of us was a friendship with Gregory Peck that lasted through his death. And after he died, I believe in 2003, with his widow,